Today we're making pickled onions. For this recipe, we're going to need 1 red onion, any vinegar of your choice, I used apple cider, some salt, sugar and then some spices which you can choose. Spices I would use would be cumin seeds, mustard seeds, coriander seeds. I'd toast them and then add them to the boil with the vinegar. First I start by chopping off the stem of the onion, keeping the root intact, and then chop through the middle, making the root on each side, chop it in half and deskin. I'm using the onion from our Onions Basics video to reduce food waste, so I chop each two in 2 different ways. You can keep yours in whichever slice ways, just as long as they're in slices. That's how you're going to get that pickled onion shape. The first onion I cut across the grain, making sure to hold the onion in a claw-like position so I can keep my fingers. Cutting across the grain makes the onion flavour stronger and more pungent, and it makes the pieces a bit softer. I'm gathering these pieces and putting them in a bowl. I chopped the other half with the grain, so I chopped off the stem. Cutting this way decreases the tears and allows the onion to have a milder flavour. In the video I did use a blunt paring knife. Don't do this, make sure your knives are sharp. Another thing to note, cutting with the grain makes it so we're not cutting through as many onion cells, so we don't cry as much. That's why I'm saying it's decreasing tears. Next, I'm going to mix equal parts of apple cider vinegar and water, about 200 milliliters for each, and take it to the hob so it can boil. The amount you boil here really depends on your jar size or your container size, so this is up to you, but it's just equal parts. While it's on the boil, let's have a look at the flavourings I'm going to use. Here I have salt, pepper and sugar. You should use these anyway. For plain pickled onions, you're going to need these to balance out sweetness and add seasonings, but for my flavours, I'm having garlic, chili flakes, ground coriander and star anise. These are the spices I had on hand, so you can really make this with whatever you got. So I'm going to take my garlic, I'm going to give it a quick smash, I'm going to chop off the root, and then the skin, because it's smashed, will peel off real easy. Also another thing to note, I am using ground coriander. I would definitely recommend using seeds. In the end, all my ground coriander did fester at the bottom, so don't think I didn't get any coriander flavouring. Just a quick thing to know, because it would stick to all the onions if I did add it. Now back over to the hob, I'm going to add my spices. I'm going to start off with my 2 tablespoons of sugar to offset the acidity. I'm going to add some chili flakes and the ground coriander, followed by a few cranks of salt and pepper. I'll give this a mix and take it off the boil. Now this is going to cool, so now I've got my 2 onions. So I've got my 2 onions here, I'm going to put them in my jar. Because I've chopped my 2 onions the same and they're going to have different textures, I'm going to mix them up, okay? So I'm going to pop them all in my jar, I'm going to add my crushed garlic, I'm going to add my star anise on top. After cooled, mine was still a bit lukewarm, well, a bit warm. But I'm going to fill the jar with the vinegar, making sure all the onions are covered. I'll tighten the lid and put it in the fridge for a few hours. About 2 hours later, you'll have beautifully pinky red onions. Perfect for sandwiches, wraps and salad. They have a lovely, beautiful, crunchy and sweet flavour. And these can be stored in the fridge for about 3 weeks. So what can we use these for meal-wise? Well, let's say you're having a date night. Maybe you're having salads for like a starter or something. You're trying to be fancy. You put the red onions on top. After all, bright colours go really well with foods. There's not a lot of bright, savoury, sweet colours you can have as a main that can accompany it. That would be good with anything. Honestly, you could put it on a wrap, a toasty. At the end of the day, you gotta experiment, you get me? So, you can use it as a garnish, but either way guys, cheers for watching, I'll see you next week.